We are coming live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. This moment is eternal. This moment is eternal. There is nothing beyond this moment. Nothing beyond this moment. But the mind lives either in the past or in the future. It cannot be now here. There is only one space, now and here, and that which is now here is eternal. Nothing exists beyond this. It is absolutely impossible for mind to be now and here. It continues to wander in yonder, far away. Mind is interested in far away things, but that which is at hand, it continues, goes on overlooking. It cannot be present. Absolutely, it is impossible for mind to be in the present. When you are in the present, the mind is there no more. Because mind means thinking, mind means, and thinking is of the past. All thoughts belong to the past, something that has happened. The memories of that. For instance, if I give you a cup of tea to drink, you taste the tea, you have tasted it sip by sip, enjoyed every bit of it, and after you have tasted it, this was the experience. Then I ask you to write this experience in words. You are going in a process that has happened. It is a thought process. Thinking will begin. You will begin to think. So how can you remain in the present moment? This is how the mind is. You can think about the past. The past has already become part of the memory, and mind can work it out. That is why it is easier for you to reflect back and bring back the taste. You can think about the future, but it is not yet there. But the mind can dream about it, and this is what the process is. So mind does two things. Either it can move into the past. Certainly there is enough space for it to move. You had a cup of tea. You had watched a game of football or basketball, whatever be your choice. Or you have listened to music. You have read something. So it has ample space for the mind to move around. And then mind can weave many things, so it has a wide space to move around in the future as well. But that which is on the threshold between these two, mind cannot grasp that. Certainly there is vast space of the past. You can go on and on, or the mind can move into the future. Once again, there is vast space with no end to it. You can go on imagining and dreaming till the end of eternity, and there will be no end to your dreaming. How can the mind function? How can mind function in the present? It is such a precise space that it is not a space as such to talk about. It has no space for the mind to make any movement. The present is just a dividing line, just as the border between the two countries is just a line of demarcation. To the left is one realm, to the right is another realm, and nothing else. It has no space. It divides the past and the future, and it exists just as a dividing line. You can be in the present, but you cannot think. For thinking, space is necessary. Without this space, thinking is not possible. Thoughts need space to float because they are like things. Thoughts are like things that they need a space to float. They are subtle things. They are material. All thoughts are material. Mirza Ghalib says, आते हैं ये मज़ामी ख्याल में गैब से. From where these thoughts are coming? I am online. You see, you have heard once taoshobuddha. You have read one of his maybe post. Oh, he is online. You are floating, you are moving around, and you saw taoshobuddha online. Let me hear a few minutes at least, and you start listening to it. Something may appeal to you or may not. But you have come in a moment, and the moment you capture that voice, so all these voices, they become an energy field, tawajjuh. They continuously remaining in the cosmos. And once you have the equipment, just as when a message is sent, many things are there in cyberspace. So when we talk about spiritual cyberspace, I am part of that. So in the cyberspace, many things are there, and your message is in escrow. Only you can capture that matter. These words are coming out of the mouth of taoshobuddha. Whatsoever is for you, you will capture that. Whatsoever is needed for you at that moment, you will capture that, and your journey will continue. That which is not for you, you will not hear that moment. Maybe after you open this particular chapter, then you can go on to the other. And that's how the life is. Whatsoever is for you, you will capture it in that moment. So thoughts are subtle things, they are material. There is no spiritual thought, but it does something. Thoughts are not spiritual because the dimension of spirituality starts when there is no thought. This is something beyond the known. That's where the journey of spirituality begins, not the realm of the body. When you go to a particular conference or anything there, all this is preparation. You're getting ready, putting on the garb, dressing yourself, getting into the car drives, reaches to the destination. All these are the part of this entire process, but they are not the part of the conference where you have to go to. But it is an important, essential part. The presence of the body is important because without the body, I cannot manifest. The voice comes out through the vocal cord. I see, the image comes in and forms through the eyes. So all this is happening through the vehicle of the body. Thoughts is a part of that also. So thoughts are not spiritual because the dimension of spirituality starts only when there is no thought. Thoughts are material things, very subtle, and every material thing needs a space. The table, the laptop, the iPhone, All these things exist in space. You cannot be thinking in the present. The moment you start thinking, it is already past, gone. You see the sun is rising, and you see that you go and tell somebody what a beautiful sunrise. There comes a beautiful story in the life of Lao Tse. Every morning he used to go for a walk. And so his neighbor said that he wants to go with him for a walk. Lao Tse told that I do not want anybody to accompany me for a walk. He said, you need a company. But a master does not need any company. He is the entire universe on his own. When he moves, the universe moves with him. So he went. Probably he had gotten up for the first time that early. When he saw the sun rising, he said, what a beautiful sun. Lao Tse did not say anything. When he returned back, he told his friend, from tomorrow you cannot go with me, you talk too much. I am eating food, the food is in front of me, want to know how does the food taste. Everybody is going, they are engaged in their own talks, and they are talking about the last time when we went to that restaurant, the food was tasting better. Can that food that you have eaten last time fill your belly now? So they asked me, Daddy, how the food tastes. I said, it is edible. He always says something like that. It's better. So then all in unison, my son, daughter and the wife, they will say, oh, don't talk to him. You just waste of time. You ask him anything, he gives in a kind of a funny answer. Can't you say that their food is tasting good or this? When I said edible, it is much more comprehensible word. Comprehensible, it is edible. That's why I'm eating it. And besides that, this is the only thing in front of me that can satiate my hunger. I cannot think of something else on my platter which is not there. I am in the moment. When they ask me, how is it tasting? I am eating now. Let me finish eating and let me just munch it and then know the taste. After that, yes, I was trying to recollect what it was. I was analyzing how much condiments, spices are there in it. Was the proportion good? So my mouth is working like a lab and I am trying to see what time the thing has been put. I have seen when the master chefs, they are doing the judging the competition, master chef competition in India or anyone else. Sanjeev Kapoor does that very much. He will put the food in his mouth and trying to get the taste of all the different spices. Like if you taste the food in your mouth, can you say what different spices has been used in it? Can you analyze like a alchemist what spices have been used? For instance, if you are using in a particular sauteing garlic and onion. Now, do you know the tendency, the quality of garlic and quality of onion? Onion is a very sweet substance. Garlic is pungent. If you allow the garlic to burn first, then it will have a different flavor. And if you allow the onion to fry first, it will have a different flavor. So normally what happens there, depending on what kind of flavor I want in my food to be prominent, I have to add that item at that moment. So I would not want, and besides that their garlic have more nutritional value than onion. So I will add the onion first. When onion is sauteed, it becomes translucent. It has absorbed, it has been cooked in its own water. No water is needed additional for it, and not even oil is needed if you are cooking oil free. Just in the heat, the water starts evaporating and the process of the cooking continues. I want to retain the medicinal properties of garlic, so I will add the garlic afterwards. All these things are very delicate. At what moment? So I am eating food, so I am analyzing at what moment these things have been added on. And you want me to just tell you a hodgepodge answer that it is tasting good? No, I cannot answer that way. So they find that he is too out of mind. So they say, just leave him like that. So I finish eating. When I finish eating, I must know what are the different dishes available, so I do not have to. When I finish what I have eaten, after that, he said, you know, this item is tasting really good, Rasmalai. You should eat it now. Do you think my stomach is a garbage bin that I can stuff anything in that? No. If I had known what items are there on the menus, I will choose accordingly. This is being in the moment, available to the moment. And you are living in that moment. So Lao Tse said, you are not going. Many times it happens, look, the flower is looking so nice. He does, going with him anywhere is just a waste of time. Because you ask him something, he doesn't answer. What do I have to answer? The flower is blossoming, be with it. The moment you are with the flower, you have forgotten everything else. You become a flower yourself. The moment you are with the master and you are flowing with him, with his energy, something of the master like a quantum leap jumps and reaches to you, and that is what will bring transformation into you. In that moment of silence, when you are coming closer to the energy field of the master, something jumps from the master and reaches, flop, comes to you, and the candle is lit. If the candle still maintains a distance, it cannot lit. It has to come that close that there is no gap between the two, the lit and the unlit candle. Only in that, and who is going to decide how close the candle has to be? Only the candle can know how close I have to be with that. The moment that candle comes in close proximity, suddenly something jumps from that and lights the candle. The unlit candle is lit now. You see the sun, you see and you tell someone, what a beautiful sunrise. It is already gone in the past. When the sun is rising, you were not available. There is not even a single space for you to say how beautiful. Because when you say these two words, how beautiful, awesome, the experience has already become past. It is a very precise moment. Saying this word awesome takes some time, but the vision has happened in a flash. Awesome. The mind already knows it in the memory, but exactly when the sun is rising, exactly when sun is on the rise, how can you think? And what can you think? You can be with the rising sun, you can be with the blossoming flower, but you cannot think. For you, there is enough space, but not for the thought. You see a beautiful flower in the garden, and you immediately pick it up and pick up the phone to tell your friend what a beautiful rose flower, and you take a picture and you click send. to all the people. And when they send you the message, nice, thank you, you feel happy that, but you miss the opportunity of being with the flower. But the moment you are being with the flower, you are pulsating with the flower, something changes within you. Something changes within you. Now you are not with this rose in this moment. It is already memory. When the flower is there, you are somewhere else. Both present to each other. When both you are there, the flower is there, you are present to both are present to each other. How can you think? And what can you think? How is thinking possible? And what can you think? Thinking is possible only when you are not with the flower. There is no space for it. The space is so narrow. In fact, there is no space at all that you and the flower can even exist as two. Kabir says, the prem gali ati sakri, the love lane is very narrow. Tame dui na samay, two cannot exist together. You and I are not separate. You and I are part of one synergistic harmony. There is not enough space for two, only one can exist. And if seeing the flower, thinking continues or thinking begins, you have been relegated to the past. You are in the reverse gear. That is why in a deep presence, you are the flower and the flower has become you. Both you and the flower are thoughts in the mind. When there is no thinking, who is the flower? And who is the one who is observing? The observer means you are the subject, the object, and the predicate, the verb that connects the two. The verb may have adverb with it or adjective. When no sentence can be complete without the structure of a sentence is an subject, an object, and predicate. The verb and running fast, it is predicate. I am running fast. You are running fast. So the structure of a sentence requires the observer, the observed, and the three things. The subject, I am the observer. And observed is the object. And that which is happening between the two is observing. The observer becomes the observed. Suddenly boundaries are lost. Suddenly you have penetrated into the flower and the flower has penetrated into you. Suddenly you are not two, only one exists. In that moment, the Advait has happened. That is why the Hindu philosophy, the way is Advait, non-dual. It cannot be said that the two exist. It says two does not exist, but more than that, I am incapable of saying anything. You are non-dual. If you start thinking, you have become two again. If you do not think, duality cannot exist. When you exist with the flower, not thinking, it is a dialogue, not a duologue, but a dialogue. When you exist with your lover, it is a dialogue, not a duologue. There is a difference between the two, because the two are not there. Sitting by the side of your lover, holding the hand, you simply exist. You do not think of the days gone by. You also do not think of the future coming. You are here now. It is so beautiful to be here now, and so intense that no thought can penetrate this intensity. And narrow is the gate of the present. Narrow is the gate of the present. Not even two can enter into it together, only one. Only one can enter. In the present, thinking is not possible, dreaming is not possible, because dreaming is nothing but thinking in pictures. Both are things, both are materialistic. It happened one day, Mullah Nasruddin was sleeping and he had a dream. So normally when you are sleeping and you are dreaming, your spouse always likes to sit down next to you, because dream is a reality. She wants to know whose name you are calling out in your dream. Kamla, Bimla, Annie, Mary, whatever name you are calling. So Mullah Nasruddin dreamt that an awakened person has come, and he said, I have come to give you something. What are you going to give me? I am going to give you $1. $1, and you are such an person and you are only giving me $1. Mullah was like a recalcitrant mule. Recalcitrant like mule, adiyal. Stuck. I am not taking $1. So the bargaining began. That the awakened master said, take $2. He said, no, I am not taking $2. The process continued. Mullah loudly saying, no, $1, I cannot take $1. 2, no, that is not acceptable. Then he continued that the matter is stuck on 99. So 99, so the wife was listening. What is this going on? Numbers is being counted. 1, 2, 3. Mullah saying, no, not 9, not 5, 99. Then he says, Mullah said to him, you are so miser, you can only come up to 99. Why not add one more? So you do not have to count 99 single dollars. He said, I have single dollars, so I give you $1. Then he add a next one, take 2. So that's on 99. I just want a 1 blue. What is that? That has the picture of, I don't know, the $100 bill carries the picture of one of the American president. I want that. But he is not going to give him. He said, no, I cannot give you $100. I can give you only $99. Mullah said, no, I am not taking $100, not 99. If you want to give me 99, is okay. If not 99, then nothing. Same time, he woke up from the dream. So wife said, at least you should have taken $99. But Mullah said, I cannot take $99. I want $100. So maybe Mia, you lost that $99 also. This is the nature of the dream. So everything in the dream is materialistic. When you are in the present moment without thinking, you are for the first time spiritual. A new dimension opens, and that dimension is the dimension of awareness. That dimension is the dimension of awareness. You have not known that dimension, that is awareness. Heraclitus will say, you are asleep and you are not aware. Awareness means to be in the moment so totally that there is no movement towards the past or towards the future. I am engrossed in I have seen the masters how they are so absorbed in the act that they are doing. Observe a master eating food or get involved in a particular, even the physical act. how total he is into that. I had been given the vision of seeing the masters, and I am taking you to that realm because each one of you must have had an opportunity to be around an awakened one. How so total he is in that very moment. So total, a new movement begins. It is indeed a movement in depth. You are not on the surface. Instead, you are moving within. There are two types of movements, and that is the meaning of Jesus' cross. It shows two movements. It is a crossroad. One movement is linear. You move in a straight line. That is where his hands are, stretched like this. This is the linear movement, a straight line from one thing to another, from one thought to another, from one dream to another, from A to B, B to C. This is what the straight line, the horizontal, or on a graph, it represents the x-axis. This is the way you move in a line, horizontal, and remain on the surface. This is the movement of time. This is the movement of the one who is fast asleep. You can go like a shuttle back and forth. The line is there. The track is there. The train goes this way, this way. This is how it keeps on shunting. When you see the airport terminals, the train, the subway moving between the two terminals, two stations, from here it goes to there, and from there it goes to there. That's all it knows. This is the linear movement, which is represented by the horizontal x-axis where his hands are placed. That movement, there is another movement, and that which is totally a different dimension. That movement is not horizontal, it is vertical instead. You do not go from A to B, B to C. Instead, you go from A to A1. This depth you go a little more, a little more, a little more. This is what the diver does it. From A to A1, you enter into the ocean at the same spot, and you are going deeper and deeper in depth. This is the vertical axis. When thinking stops and new movement starts, now you are falling into depth in an abyss-like phenomena. People who are meditating deeply, they come to that point sooner or later when they become afraid, because they feel as if an abyss has opened, a bottomless abyss where there is no end to its depth. You become afraid. You would like to cling to the old movement because it was known, and this feels like a depth. That is the meaning of Jesus on the cross. It is death. Symbolic, it is death. You are entering into an abyss. Going from horizontal to vertical is death. Indeed, that is the real death, changing the direction from horizontal to vertical. But it is death only from one side, and from the other side it is resurrection. Two aspects. Jesus dies on the cross, and the very next moment he is resurrected. It happens so precisely that you will not know, but the dying is very important. Moving from horizontal to vertical is very important. The moment you move from horizontal to vertical, the direction is changed, and then what happens immediately? You are resurrected. Jesus becomes Christ. You are no more the same individual. You are different. But the death is only from one side, and on the other side it is a resurrection. It is dying to be born, to be reborn. It is dying from one dimension to be born in another dimension. Dying to one dimension and being born to another. Horizontal, you are Jesus. Vertical, you are Christ. The two things, that's why we call Jesus the Christ. He is son of Mary and Joseph and also the Son of God. You are that also. You are Jesus. If you move from one thought to another, you remain in the world of time. If you move into moment, not into thought, you are moving the eternity, the eternal. You are not static, and nothing is static in this world. Nothing can be static. Instead, a new movement. Movement without motivation has begun. Remember these two words. On the horizontal line, you move because of the motivation. You have to achieve something, money, prestige, power, or God. But you have to achieve something. And motivation is there. A motivated movement means sleep. A motivated movement means sleep. An unmotivated movement means awareness. You move because to move is sheer joy. For me, speaking to you is a sheer joy. I have nothing to gain in speaking to you. But my speaking helps someone. Someone is connected to me so deeply that I have to speak for that person. An unmotivated movement means awareness. You move because to move is the sheer joy. You move because movement is life. You move because life is energy and energy is movement. You move because energy is delight and not for anything else. It is delight. There is no goal to it. You are not after some achievement. In fact, you are not going anywhere. You are not going at all. You are simply delighting in the energy as it flows at this moment. Simply delighting in that energy. There is no goal outside the movement. There is no goal outside the movement. Indeed, movement has its own intrinsic value, but no extrinsic value. A Buddha also lives, a Heraclitus lives, a Jesus lives, and here I am living, breathing, but a different type of movement, totally unmotivated, is the cause and the way. Cause and the way together. Nothing else beyond this. This is the meaning of Jesus on the cross. The moment is eternal. Moment is now. Every Saturday or Sunday, this session begins Eastern Time, 6 o'clock. It may take a few minutes here and there because of connections and setting up the studio. It runs between the hour of 6 and 7 Eastern Time, which is New York time, which translates to Indian Standard Time between 3:30 and 4:30 in the same afternoon. In Eastern Time during the winter, in America the clock is set an hour behind. But in Trinidad there is no daytime, so it remains the same. So try to remain available when the session begins. And however, these talks are available for you via Facebook stream, Facebook or YouTube, but both, whether it is YouTube channel or the Facebook, it will be available on Facebook. So until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant afternoon. Take care.